pilots, Drain Man here, and today I just wanted to take a minute to go over with you guys the new DJI Goggles N3 and the DJI Goggles 3. And the reason why is because I wanted to get the new goggles because of the new DJI 04, and I had no idea which one to pick. You're looking up and you're going, which one's newer, which one's better, and you just don't know. So you start to dive in and it's not very clear. You're seeing some good info on both, but the facts are which one is better. So I wanted to give a down-to-earth quick comparison so that way if you are at the crossroads that I was at, you can make a very simple and educated decision. So for me, I know that I was in love with these. It took a little bit to get used to, but these are the Goggles V2, and I also have the Goggles V1. That's how long I've been rocking these on. I can put them on my head, and then they slide right over my glasses. I can tuck my ears in and I feel comfortable. I feel right at home. So when the Goggles 3 came out and they don't do that, I was like, oh, they're binocular style. I don't know if that was me. What these actually do is they grab the top of your forehead. Watch this. They grab my forehead. Okay, they're holding on to my forehead right now, and I got the battery in the back, and then they're just laying on my face, and I'm like, eh. And without seeing that in person and having my hands on them, it was a tough decision to make. Then I saw the Goggles N3 and I thought, yee! They are box style goggles. They are new. They're gonna work with the DJI 04 and they're gonna allow me to wear my glasses because I don't wanna have to go like this every single time. I don't want that. I wanna be able to leave these on and I wanna be able to just slide my goggles over. So, when these showed up, I was super excited, and then I went like this, and I put them on, and I said, oh my God, that's horrible. This is horrible. So, and the reason why is because look at it. It's actually, and they don't tell you this, and I don't think anybody is, this is at a 45-degree angle. Hopefully I'm making sense here. This is at a 45-degree angle. So, here's what happens. They go against your forehead like this, and then they actually drop down. Do you see that? So they are naturally like at a downward angle. And that's because there's a screen up here and then there is mirrors and it's like shining up. But I said, you know what? Let me keep on digging. So I powered them up, and that was when I was going through the menu screen and it looked kind of blurry. And I'm like, what is the deal here? Let me make some adjustments. Well, guess what? You need to know that on the Goggles N3, there are 0 adjustments. You cannot change anything. There are no diopters, there are no binoculars, there's nothing. You cannot make any changes to what you see. So for me, for some reason, when I'm wearing them, I am not getting a clear, clean picture, even with my glasses. Okay, without my glasses, I can't see anything. But with the glasses, I'm getting a poor picture, and I can't adjust them. And I said, huh, maybe I do like this. Maybe I do like this. No more like crushing my face. None of that, because look, it's actually sitting on my forehead. So it's like kind of loose. It's like not even bothering me. I can even peek up and say, hey, what's going on, guys? What are y'all doing? Now, the idea would be that this would allow you to go all the way up, but it doesn't. It only allows you to go a little bit. But with the new Goggles 3, you do have 2 cameras right here, and it's called Live PIP. And there's no button right here, but you just simply go, just a tap like that right on the side. And you will switch to these 2 cameras where you can actually see in front of you. Now, notice when I say in front of you, I go like this. It ain't that. You are in a tunnel vision, just what's in front of you, and it's almost like being blown up and magnetized. So although the real live PIP is super, super cool, and the idea behind it is great, right? Pop, pop, hey, who's around me, who's up in my face? You really aren't getting the full surround sound of who's around you. You're just getting kind of what's directly in front of you. Jumping into the nitty gritty, I want you to see the size of these things, okay? Because it's important important that you know when you fold these antennas down and you just wrap your battery around like that, here we are about this size, okay? That's what we're dealing with. And with the N3s, they are monstrous. I mean, let me even tell you, they are bigger than the V1s and the V2s. Look at that. These are big, big goggles. Now, here's something very cool that you need to know. On these, you are getting a 1080p ultra-wide LCD screen with a field of view of 54 degrees, and that is one big screen. On the Goggles 3, it is not the same. You are getting a dual micro OLED screen with a field of view of 44 degrees. So it's technically a smaller field of view, but you're in a binocular style, so you're getting that much more detail. You can see it all. And what was cool is it even came with adjustment stuff. So I could even swap out the diopters. These just twist and unclick and you can put in different ones. So without the glasses, you can see beautifully. I can with what came stock. They both have an SD card slot. This one is right here like traditional goggles, and this one is up here on the front like the new style. Nothing like this one where it was off to the side. I will say something else too. Your battery. Let's go over the battery really quick. This is a 2.7 hour battery on your N3s, and on your G3s, you're getting a full 3-hour battery. Big difference? No. And they both suck in that perspective because these goggles don't even have that. They came with a battery, but you get a cord and you can use any cord, and they came out with new cords and you can plug them in and power them up. I don't even got to check if these are charged because I charge in the field with my battery box. So I had endless goggle power forever and ever because I would just pull out more batteries and just keep rolling. Just LiPos, just powered up with a LiPo. Can't do that now because we have a built-in battery into both of these goggles. They are both right here and they are both built in. And I'm personally not a fan of that, okay? But I did notice, and something that is pretty cool, on the G3s, right here you have a sensor. On the N3s, there's no sensor here. So when you power these on, these N3s are on and they are blasting and they are using juice full power for the whole time. The G3s, this little sensor knows when the goggles are off your face and it will actually turn the screen off to save battery power. Very cool. You need to know that with the N3s, you can do a USB-C wired live feed sharing. That means you plug in a wire and you can live feed. With the G3s, you can do that, plus there is a wireless feature that allows you to also do it wirelessly. With the Goggles 3, your face pad is this like loose, floppy, like rubbery foam. Do you see this? And when I first saw this, I wasn't very impressed. I even thought for a minute, maybe there's foam somewhere in the box and I needed to put it up in there. But that's just not the case because they don't rest on your face. You don't need the foam. It's going to rest on your forehead, and you do get a second option for a pad. If you'd like to bump this a little bit further away from your face, you do have that luxury. And what's happening is these little doohickeys right here, they're just kind of draped over to block the light, but they have already created an aftermarket foam and you can purchase them online already if that is something that bothers you. With the Goggles N3, you are getting a much better, much firmer, much more comfortable foam that just feels good on the head. I mean, look at that. That just feels good. But you are still getting a little bit of doohickey rubber stuff that I just don't see holding up long term. Here's what we've got here. You've got an external wire. See this wire? This wire runs from the battery to the goggles on the N3. It is out and about. It can get cut. It can get clipped. It's in the way, to where on the Goggles 3, it is ran inside of here. And it goes to the battery. You don't see it. You don't feel it. You don't even know it's there. It's just compact and nice. You kind of just drape these over, and now they're very handheld and form factored, I would say. They feel good in the hand, okay? This is a very small point, but I would like to make, I haven't seen it touched on, but it matters to me. It may not matter to you. On the N3, here's your power button. When I press it, I just get a green light. So I've got to press and then press again and hold just like any other DJI product to power it on, but there's really no indicator of when, to where with the Goggles 3, you actually get your status bar. So when I press that, I know that I have half battery right now. You don't have that on the N3. You will actually have to power these up to know where your battery is. You want to fly the DJI O4 and your current goggles don't do it. So that is where these come into play, and you are not only stuck choosing between these two, because the Goggles 2 will also run the O4, as well as the Integras will also run the new DJI O4s. But if you are trying to choose between these two, just know that these are only $229 and these are $500, $499. So we are a $270 difference. That means that you can buy these and you can buy a DJI O4 Air unit and still walk away with some extra money than if you were to buy the DJI Goggles 3. They are that much more expensive. On the Goggles N3, you are a 1080p, 60 frames per second at 31 milliseconds of latency, okay? 31 milliseconds. That is pretty much nothing. On the G3s, you are a 1080p, 100 frames per second, so that's another 40 frames per second, and I can get down to 24 milliseconds. So it is very, very minute, but if you are a racing pilot or you are a pilot who really needs that speedy, you are probably going to want to spend a little extra money and jump into these Goggles 3. They both have head tracking with the AR cursor function, so you're not losing any compatibility there. You will not have compatibility with the DJI O3, at least for now. That is what is being said. And it may not ever become compatible, so keep in mind, if you have invested in O3s and now you are investing in O4s and you want to save money and buy these beautiful goggles, these are amazing goggles for the price, you will not be able to have your O3s on here. So you will need something like this to be able to fly your O3s and your older stuff, and then you can have this to fly your O4s and your O4 Lights, or your O4s and your O4 Pros, whatever you want to call them. And for the G3s, also keep in mind that you will also get the Neo, the Avata 2, the Air 3, and the DJI Mini 4 Pro, which you will not get on these. So you are losing the Air 3 and the DJI Mini 4 Pros if you are even into those. If you are an FPV pilot and that doesn't matter, then you're good to go. You just can't do your O3s. All right, pilots, let's face it, if you are gonna stay in the hobby and you are a FPV pilot through and through, you need to spend the money and get the Goggles 3. That's my opinion. If you are new to the hobby or wanting to get into the hobby and you are unsure if you're gonna stick around, this is a time of a lifetime, because DJI does not do this. They do not cut down features and specs and put out a budget-friendly product so that you can get into the hobby. They just don't do that, and they finally did that. So if you are unsure or have been on the fence for a while, this is your time to shine. For $229, you can jump in and enjoy the immersive, amazing world of FPV. All right, pilots, that's going to do it for the N3 versus the G3. Jump down in the comments. Let me know what you think. I'm curious. I really want to know. I hope that you guys had as much fun as I did, and I will see you on the next one.